I'll follow this woman anywhere.
Y'all heard her.
And Colleen too. I mean, she's such a great filmmaker. You know, she was really able to separate herself and sit in that room, sit in that edit room and go like, I know that I wrote this in the book, but like, what if it happened this way instead? Because for the film, it's its own piece of art, and we're still capturing everything that's in the book, but it's just tweaking this or that. Like, so she really is just an incredible storyteller. So
the way he delivered it, and so it just kind of became this thing where he would replay it when he wanted to get pumped up.
Have you ever believed a story was destined to do real good for the world, only to see it crumble under secret power struggles and stunning betrayals? That's exactly what happened behind the scenes of It Ends With Us, a film that was supposed to honor survivors of domestic violence and showcase the beauty of resilience. Instead, it became the stage for star-studded clashes, alleged manipulation, and an entire fandom caught in the crossfire. As new revelations unravel, the passion that brought this adaptation to life has boiled over into legal battles and public takedowns. Today, we're diving deep into the chaos that erupted around Colleen Hoover, Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and the fans who are still trying to make sense of it all. It all started with one of the most viral romance novels in recent history. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover soared to the top of bestseller lists, fueled by readers who saw themselves in the raw, emotional tale of Lily, a woman grappling with a cycle of domestic violence. For many fans, this was more than just a romance story. It was a striking portrait of survival. Enter Justin Baldoni, best known for his role in the TV series Jane the Virgin. He was determined to bring Lily's story to the big screen in a way that didn't sugarcoat domestic abuse. He reached out to Colleen Hoover with a vision: preserve the heart and soul of the book and give real recognition to the survivors who found hope within its pages. Colleen immediately saw Justin's sincerity. His emotional respect for the subject matter convinced her that he was the right person to handle something so delicate. From day one, Justin cultivated a special bond with Hoover's huge audience. He posted thoughtful updates, revealing how he planned to honor the difficult themes in the book, especially around generational trauma and the long-lasting scars of domestic violence. Fans loved his transparency and empathy. They felt that at last someone got it, someone who saw beyond just a glossy romance. For 3 years, Justin developed the screenplay, casting ideas, and production plans. He brought on a team committed to respecting the powerful message that made It Ends With Us resonate with millions. There were rumors about who would play Lily, about possible changes to the timeline, and about the film's final direction. Through it all, Justin kept fans in the loop, posting occasional videos or updates. Colleen, in turn, championed him in her massive Facebook group and beyond. But little did anyone suspect, these early days of harmony would be completely overshadowed by a looming power struggle, one that would threaten to tear everything apart. Before we get to that, let's set the stage with Colleen Hoover's unstoppable fandom, the hidden engine behind much of this controversy. Colleen Hoover's success is rooted in a tight-knit community of readers. She didn't just publish her books and step back. Instead, she actively built online platforms, especially a giant Facebook group that ballooned to over 200,000 people. There, she posted personal updates, responded to fan theories, and even polled readers about possible character arcs or new projects. This kind of engagement made her more than an author. She became a friend to many of her most loyal supporters. Over time, these readers turned into Colleen's grassroots publicity squad. They spread word of her novels across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, generating unstoppable hype. Major retailers took notice. Suddenly, you'd see bright coho displays in prominent bookstores, and It Ends With Us was flying off the shelves. When Justin Baldoni secured the film rights, Colleen's fans embraced him as if he were part of their inner circle. He'd make cameo appearances in her Facebook group, join her for live chats, and talk about how deeply he cared for the integrity of the story. Each appearance turned up the excitement dial. Fans posted memes celebrating their new director, praising his compassion and heartfelt devotion. No one questioned Colleen's unshakable loyalty to Justin during this period. They were the ultimate author-director team, championing survivors and promising a film that would handle intense subject matter responsibly. Everything looked golden, right up until Hollywood star power entered the equation. Blake Lively's arrival was initially a bombshell announcement. Here was a world-famous actress and fashion icon stepping into the role of Lily, who was supposed to be in her early 20s in the novel. That alone stirred controversy. Fans argued that Blake, who was in her mid-30s, couldn't possibly capture the innocence and youthful fragility they imagined. Criticism poured in as soon as the first set photos leaked. The costuming looked frumpy. People claimed her styling didn't scream Lily, and some simply thought, she's too old. But the real issue ran deeper than age. Fans felt blindsided because Justin and Colleen had spent years promising a heartfelt depiction of Lily's harrowing journey, yet the choice of Lively signaled, to some, a glitzy approach that might overshadow the story's serious themes. People worried this might become a star vehicle rather than a sensitive portrayal of domestic abuse. At first, Colleen tried to quell the uproar. She reminded her readers that the film would have changes, like aging Lily up to her early 30s, so the timeline felt more believable for a mainstream audience. She stressed that the integrity of the story would remain intact. Whether fans believed her or not was another question. Many were already airing frustrations in her Facebook group, and Lively appeared unprepared for the fiery pushback from the very group Colleen had nurtured. Then came the rumors of tension between Lively and Baldoni. While everything looked cordial on social media, speculation in fan spaces told a different story. Whispers about Lively making script demands, rethinking the editing process, and feeling overshadowed by the strong relationship Justin already had with the fans. The actress, known for her bold public persona, wasn't used to being second fiddle in her own film. But the real drama was still unfolding as private feuds escalated into something far more damaging. By the time filming wrapped, rumors swirled that Blake Lively was fighting for more control of the project than her contract allowed. She supposedly insisted on seeing early cuts of the film and demanded that her own editing notes become top priority. The big question was, why would she push so hard to tweak a film that was already aligned with the author's vision? Justin Baldoni's supporters say it all came down to star power versus original promise. He wanted to stay true to the heart of Colleen's novel, capturing the realities of domestic violence. Lively, on the other hand, was rumored to want a more mainstream or comedic vibe, something that put her star brand front and center. Behind closed doors, meetings allegedly became tense. Lively was reported to have threatened to withdraw from film promotions if her version wasn't prioritized, a major risk for box office results. Hollywood is no stranger to these power plays, but fans were stunned to learn that, at some point, Colleen Hoover, who had once championed Justin publicly, seemed to pivot toward Lively. How did that happen? Skeptics point to Lively's connections. Her husband, Ryan Reynolds, is one of the biggest box office draws in the industry. Having a direct line to him, and his star power, could open huge doors for Colleen Hoover's brand. Some even suspect talk of future film adaptations and bigger budgets led to a shift in loyalty. Justin Baldoni found himself in a lose-lose situation. If he fought Lively's demands, he risked losing the film's promotional backing, or worse, facing an industry backlash he might not recover from. It looked like a classic David versus Goliath scenario, with a grassroots director pitted against Hollywood royalty. But that wasn't the whole story, because next came the fans, those same enthusiastic readers who had practically worshipped the ground Justin Baldoni walked on. It's easy to think controversies in Hollywood are just inside baseball. But when it ends with this marketing kicked off, the fandom noticed something glaringly off. Justin Baldoni was suddenly absent from promotional material. Blake Lively's marketing took a jarringly lighthearted tone, almost ignoring the domestic violence focus in favor of fun with florals and trivial activities. Fans who adored the novel's serious themes immediately revolted on social media. In the official It Ends With Us Facebook page and Colleen Hoover's own group, critics piled on. They felt that the film was being reduced to a breezy rom-com, practically erasing Lily's intense struggles. Some posts blasted Lively's floral mania as tone-deaf. Others demanded to know why the man who promised an authentic portrayal of domestic abuse was now invisible in the marketing. This backlash was organic. People had watched Colleen champion Justin for years, praising his sensitivity to the material. Suddenly, the narrative changed overnight, and fans weren't buying it. The more the marketing team pushed Lively's star image, the more fans demanded accountability. They wanted answers about what was really going on behind the scenes, and they wanted Justin's cut of the film that had apparently tested higher with younger female audiences. Lively, in turn, publicly claimed that there was a smear campaign orchestrated against her. She implied that naysayers were anti-women or simply clung to unrealistic expectations. But fans were quick to point out that they'd championed other female-led projects in the past. This was about authenticity and the original spirit of the book. They argued that Lively had misunderstood the deeply personal relationship between It Ends With Us and the survivors who saw themselves in Lily's journey. One might say, how could everything unravel so fast? That leads us to the swirling legal dramas and warring narratives that push the story into truly shocking territory. If the tension behind the scenes sounded dramatic before, it went nuclear once the lawsuits started flying. Justin Baldoni claimed in his legal filings that Blake Lively coerced him into letting her edit the movie by threatening to withhold promotion and sabotage the film's release. He also alleged that she hurled personal insults, painted him as creepy, and weaponized her celebrity connections to isolate him from the rest of the cast and crew. In response, Lively's lawsuit painted Justin Baldoni as orchestrating a targeted smear campaign against her. She insisted that the negative public perception was artificially fueled by Baldoni's crisis team, aimed at damaging her reputation and overshadowing her creative input. Caught in the middle was Colleen Hoover, who had once praised Justin so enthusiastically. Suddenly, she and her entire fanbase pivoted, leaving Justin out in the cold. Baldoni asserts it's because Lively and her Hollywood heavy-hitter husband offered Colleen bigger opportunities and star-studded connections. Fans felt a palpable sense of betrayal. After all, it was Colleen who had introduced them to Justin's empathetic approach, who had commended his respect for survivors, and who had championed his devotion to the project. Could one actress's star power truly have flipped Colleen so decisively? Amid these suits and countersuits, explosive allegations also emerged about how Lively dismissed the film's core theme, overshadowing domestic violence issues with brand endorsements and personal image building. Meanwhile, Baldoni maintained that he tried to save the film from devolving into trivialization, but had no choice but to bow out to protect the project from total implosion. When the dust settled, fans were left with more questions than answers. They wondered if the film they'd once championed would still address the raw, powerful experiences they valued, or if it had been irreversibly transformed into a superficial star vehicle. So, where does that leave everyone? Right now, the entire fiasco has spilled into the public domain. The film is still slated for release, though overshadowed by confusion and heartbreak from the fans who once championed it. The online communities that propelled Colleen Hoover's success are heavily divided. Some remain loyal to Hoover and Lively, hoping the final cut will do justice to Lily's struggle. Others are furious at what they perceive as a betrayal of It Ends With Us' original mission. Industry analysts speculate that future adaptations of Hoover's work could be in jeopardy. Hollywood is keen on profitable properties, but the negative publicity swirling around Colleen's alliance with Lively might deter studios from diving in so eagerly. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's own future in the industry is uncertain. Will the lawsuits overshadow the sincerity he once brought to sensitive stories? Or will he be vindicated in the end? Despite everything, domestic violence survivors and advocates who cherish the book are left in an agonizing position. They pin such high hopes on a film that might validate their experiences. Instead, they're stuck in the middle of a meltdown that's more about star power and legal threats than it is about the silent battles survivors face every day. The conflict raging around It Ends With Us feels more like a Hollywood thriller than the heartfelt adaptation fans envisioned. What began as a passionate promise to address domestic violence with honesty has spiraled into secret deals, double crosses, and cutthroat showdowns. The split between Colleen Hoover and Justin Baldoni underscores a harsh lesson in the entertainment world. Fame can be a powerful currency, overshadowing even the best intentions. In the end, we're left with pressing questions. Can a film still honor domestic violence survivors if the creative process behind it was tainted by ego and manipulation? Are fans right to hold Colleen Hoover accountable for the abrupt shift in loyalty, or is this just how Hollywood works behind the scenes? Will Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni ever reconcile their opposing visions, or is the damage too deep? As the lawsuits play out and release dates inch closer, one thing is certain: audiences will be watching closely, not just for the story on screen, but for the real-life drama that reshaped it. In a world where fan communities hold incredible power, It Ends With Us has become a cautionary tale about the unpredictable storms that can erupt when art, commerce, and personal ambition collide. Thanks for tuning in. If you followed the roller coaster ride from the sidelines, let me know in the comments what you think. Have these legal battles changed your perception of Colleen Hoover and Blake Lively? Do you still plan to see the film? The conversation isn't just about Hollywood gossip, it's about the real-life experiences behind the story, and how far from that story the film may have drifted. Stay curious, stay engaged, and until next time, remember, sometimes the most dramatic plot twists happen off the page.